Lovely. Thank you so much, Raven. And today I'm going to prove that I think all of us, beyond putting MCs, we've got to put much more designations to our names also. But before we go any further, so I've got something to say, which was, of course, said by somebody else, and now I'm saying it for you and for the world that food for thought, eat my words with your mind. We MCs and we artists are grapes, and grapes are crushed to make wine. So after being crushed with experimentation, being crushed with the transformation, with adaptation, with everything that could possibly be thrown at us, here we are. We've evolved, we've transformed, and now we are good to go. And this session is all about saying that, hey, what has happened has happened. We've cried, we've done our part. Wave one आ गई है, wave two आ गई है, wave third आए ना आए. But we are ready to think beyond all this. And to think beyond all this, we've got some lovely ladies, and finally we managed a gentleman also in the end. So I'm going to introduce, of course, Raven's introduced all of them. But I think also, COVID-19 with all the havoc that it's done and brought to us, it has also done, I think, something good for us. Varna, itna enriching experience with such beautiful artists coming to one panel, it's just not an easy job, guys. So, to be talking about that, how the live industry for MCs has now been moving to the virtual world, how we are navigating through. Here we are to talk about that. So I think I will dive straight into it, and I'll start with one of my experiences, and I'll then come to all of you. So a few days back, I got a call asking me that, hey, how many followers do you have on Instagram? You have minimum 50,000 followers? I said no. They said, okay, then we can't give you the show to host. I said, but my profile. You think that's fine, but what we need is 50,000 followers. So now I'm realizing that social media is right into our life, bang on. And I know many of us, including me, we never focus on it, but now that we are. So my first question is going to be to all of you, and we'll of course begin with the youngest of all, Geetika ma'am. That have you actually done a social media audit on all your accounts, seeing the new wave?
So hello everybody, and thank you Aditya for sharing this. We're still waiting for Sangeeta to join us. I think she has a power failure at her house, so she will be joining shortly. So now I have been through almost 2 decades of being a part of the live host fraternity in India. And initially, when I think this was in about 2004 to 2008, when the wave came where clients began to tell agencies that we want MCs who are either on television, either doing a film or doing advertisements. And for them, the core job even then didn't really matter. So that was one wave which few of us were able to battle and dig our feet in and surmount and land up on the other side. Even then, I used to say that it doesn't matter whether an MC is on television or film or is doing an ad or is a model. All that matters is the craft of the MC and what they will do for you on that live stage there, because handling a live stage is no child's play. And now, after so many years, I see yet another wave come where now clients are asking agencies, how many followers does this MC have on Instagram? We all know that followers on Instagram can be bought. They're asking MCs how many followers on Facebook, or how big is this MC as an influencer? And we also know that influencers some of them are genuine, some of them are paper tigers. So welcome Sangeeta. Sangeeta has joined us, Sangeeta Singh from Bombay. So this is yet another wave. Now, what really makes me very, I wouldn't say sad, but dry, is that from one foolishness to another, clients seem to be filling their buckets up again and again. It is up to the agencies in the country to show them a better path. I know I have not been ever picked for a show because I have X number of followers on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, but I have been asked, and my answer has been very clear that how does that matter? I mean, what does it, unless you're hiring me as an influencer come MC, which means that my fee that you're going to pay me then goes up, right? Then you're not just paying me as an MC, then you're also paying me as an influencer. So then if I'm charging X amount, then I'm going to charge X plus probably, 50% top up. So are you ready to pay me that? If not, then why are you asking me how many followers on Instagram? So the entire new wave that has started, I think it's another wave that will that will experience flux, and there will be few players who will put their foot down and try and wave through it in the proper manner, and there will be people who will just ride on it in panic and try to toe the line. So this is here to stay for at least the next 2.5, 3 years, after which things will make sense of themselves.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Sanchali, so have you actually come on to all the other platforms as well? Apart, I know that Instagram is, of course, for all of us go to that. As anchors, we go, we put a picture, we put some caption, let the world know, hey, we are here doing this today. But have you also now, is Sanchali Arora there on LinkedIn? Or is she active on Facebook now? Is she active on YouTube now to tell the world that, hey, I'm also there in the physical, in the virtual space?
Okay, hi everyone. Thank you very much first and foremost for making me a part of this panel, and I have all my friends here. So a quick hi to everyone, and it's so good to see everyone on the same platform right here, which is a streaming platform, which is obviously streaming on multiple platforms further up, right? So coming to your question, Aditya. So frankly, I was not really very active on social media earlier. It was all about, yes, having a presence in terms of, yes, I want to connect with friends, I want to connect with certain clients who are there, and it worked perfectly for me because social media following or presence didn't really impact my work. But yes, as over the years, things have changed, especially the last couple of years, and especially after COVID, because everything went tech, everything was all about what is being seen. So yes, social media did make a difference in terms of your reach. So I also started growing it. Instagram was something where I had just, I don't even know, 2,000-3,000 followers, which was basically my friends for, transiting from Facebook over to Instagram. That's it. But then I realized once I started doing my own show, which I launched during the time of COVID, which was Sanchali is a Misfit, that time I realized the importance of the reach, because the thing is, if you don't have an audience to yourself, you probably will reach us only a certain number, right? Even if you have the best kind of content to offer, but you still need a certain kind of audience to cater to it. So yes, it does matter. And with that, I think attending various sessions, learning from a lot of seniors. In fact, Roshan had a session with all of us, all MCs at one point of time, which I clearly remember, where he clearly mentioned that LinkedIn has a very major impact when you're trying to connect with your corporate clients. And I did realize that it's just about strategizing in different ways what you're doing on various platforms. Like Instagram is more about, a pictorial depiction of whatever you're doing. It's much more informal, much more fun, maybe connected to a much younger audience, right? Facebook has been an OG. It has always been there. We all are there. We connect in different ways. A lot of people are still on Facebook and not on Instagram because that's not their thing. LinkedIn, on the other hand, I feel, yes, benefits a lot when you want to make business connections. And if you have some good, I would say, serious things to say, it's not really a place for you to just, do whatever. So yes, I have Twitter. I'm still not too much active. A very intellectual platform which I'd love to explore, but wahan pe main abhi nahi gayi hu. I haven't. But yes, I have. But then, as Gitika already mentioned, that never be a criteria deciding whether you are getting certain amount of work or not. It cannot be a defining statement for one of your clients to tell you, hey, you have certain number of followers, as they can be easily bought. That defines that why you are popular or why you have certain credentials of yours are in place, and that is the reason we are hiring. So Aditya, I did come across a magazine feature where somebody asked me that how many followers do you have, because we are only going to feature 5 MCs, 5 models and 5 DJs, and that was based on their following. But I understand, because probably that magazine, what, it was kind of a symbiotic thing where, if you have followers, you promote us, and if we are on your platform, then and in reverse, we will promote you. So that is the idea. But for them, it was like, hey, these are the best 5 MCs all across the nation. And whatever said, it does create a perception for people who don't know anything about this profession, for certain clients who probably go by this fact. At the end of the day, whenever we get an event, I think we all know this, right? Everyone, at least clients who don't know us, would like to search our work. We do send a profile, but initially a search is already done on the social media or over Google to find out what this MC has done. I was on YouTube, nothing was public. Frankly, I did have my videos, but I was like, why do I need to make it public? But I realized, what, they have already done the research before they come to you. So probably a little bit of presence is necessary, but it cannot be a criteria to decide who you are or what is your worth or what you bring to the table. I think it comes with experience, and most of the good clients, I shouldn't be calling them good, but I shouldn't be dividing like this is good, this is bad, but they do know the worth of the person that they're hiring or what they have in mind when they are hiring a person for an event. And at the end of the day, I think jahan se bhi shuru hota hai, we all come to that place where they know this is the MC which is hired for this particular thing, that particular thing, and that suits the profile of the event that is actually being, telecasted or broadcasted to a certain audience.
Aditya, taking from what Sanjali just said, in fact, I'd like the others to throw light on it, probably Khyati or Sangeeta could add to this, that we had an award property last year that actually had one of the criteria for the best MC of the year as the number of followers on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And I think I won a particular award in that, and hopefully not on the basis of the number of my followers. So I just found that entire award criteria, and it was a credible leading award of the industry. So if people are watching out there, please get it off that award category. I don't know, Khyati, you'd like to add to that? Because what does the number of followers have to do with an MC's craft? It's completely two different bags of a conversation that we're talking about here. One, whether it's important for an MC to have followers on Instagram, and how important is it for an MC to be socially active on social media? Two different things. But Khyati or Sangeeta, if you'd like to add to this award criteria that was put out last year that all of us thought was.
Of course, when it comes to me, I completely second that thought from from Sanchali, that it doesn't really matter the kind of followers that you have. Because for me, yes, I had zero presence till about, we were all hit by this very unforecasted pandemic, I completely had a zero presence. So as Gitika said, this kind of an award category doesn't really make sense because, we all have somewhere made our mark into our industry. People know us for who we are, the kind of events that we cater to. So I guess when it comes to these kind of awards, of course, such kind of categories are just not happening. At least for me, they aren't at all, because till date, even after the pandemic, though I tried to, kind of up my game there, but I think I have definitely, I've not been able to keep up to that pace that I got started off with. Because again, when you have a lot of events happening, because I'm somebody who brings in, I kind of concentrate more onto the content that I bring, more of research. And most of my clients, since I've always catered more to my corporate world, and I really do not find them on Insta particularly. Whereas LinkedIn, yes, they are there, I've connected with them. But in particularly, if you're talking about Insta or Facebook, I really don't see them there. So it doesn't really make sense to have a category wherein, you're actually talking about the number of followers. Yes, if you're looking at an influencer, if you're looking at a parallel thing that you're going to kind of develop for yourself, then it's absolutely fine. And you need to concentrate there.
Totally second Sangeeta and Gitika, Sanchali, everybody is on the same lines. But I just want to add to this by saying, firstly, of course, it's absurd that there is an award category to, your craft merit doesn't count, but your number of followers would. So, which is absurd to me totally. But I have seen this, Aditya, what you were asking about. If clients are asking how many followers do you have, then yes, they are starting to ask. Not all, but there is a category of clients which is lifestyle and FMCG, where, if it is a new product launch, or if it is something that they are also wanting to create, larger reach through all the mediums that they can. So they are asking, yes. I have tried to ask for an additional amount, although I do not have that kind of a reach. Yes, some of them have agreed upon, some of them said, no, we can't. But of course, in a time like this where we are all struggling with getting the right amount of work, I don't think that should be a criteria as of now. At the same time, I don't know. Maybe I am old school, but I don't see social media as a platform to create or showcase my work only. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to build a website there. You can see my profile, you can have a meeting, you can ask referrals. All of that is possible when doing business. But social media, it is social, right? Like, I want to showcase all attributes possibly. And if at all I'm in the mood, or if at all I'm in the space, I have the time. That is what social media was for. And I don't know when it transitioned to becoming a business tool. But yes, we are all trying to cope with it and doing our best in that. So that's my take on it.
I guess, as Khyati said, it is very industry perspective. And when you're trying to build a brand for yourself other than an anchor,
Yeah.
It's more of the personal brand building that you're doing out there. If you're really taking care of your Insta or any other social media platforms, it cannot be a way to develop yourself or establish yourself as an anchor. Well, anchor is what you are, a master of ceremonies is what you are, but then if you're looking at a parallel world or an image building altogether, a different personal brand building altogether, then it makes a lot of sense that you kind of concentrate and try to work accordingly, because you need to know which industry are you targeting and where is that you're actually heading into. That is more important.
Say one thing. I'm sorry, I'm including, and there are two more people who have to speak. So, but at the same time, I'll also say, it also has a positive impact, which I kind of realized during this time. Even though you have less followers, sometimes when you can showcase something that you probably can only to a limited, limited number of people, because your work is only circulated amongst those people, you don't have a global reach, right? Right now, when people are seeing your work, I have a very good friend of ours who's who's also into yoga, right? She got a globe, people from across the globe approaching her, and she has been getting a lot of events directly from that kind of a clientele, which was never our clientele, right? It was never supposed to be our clientele. Same way, when I did my show Sanchali the Misfit, I got a lot of calls and I got a lot of contacts which are from across the globe. So I feel somewhere it does help, but it cannot, for corporate events which we have already been doing, it shouldn't be a criteria. That's what I feel.
Just to put it out, one of the many reasons why I asked this question was because I had thought of that award category last year. So let's just get it out. And I think there's a lot everybody should say, but okay, moving ahead. So I think we all agree that social media can't be the only parameter, but yes, we should start considering it in as a profile also. It can, of course, enhance it. Raven and Bhavna, to come to people and to ask you that, being in the live space, I know that my audience is right in front of me. There are thousands of people whom I'm listening to, or they're listening to me. There's exchange of energy there. But now being in the virtual space, it's just a laptop screen. Probably even if I just say a joke out loud, somebody would just put a thumbs up, and that would be the haha for them. So how are you both managing to engage with your audience now? What are those new things that you're probably trying? And how are you keeping that energy flowing? Bhavna, you first, and then Raven can take it from there.
Sure. Firstly, thank you so much, Aditya. A big welcome to all the MCs. It's so good to see everyone. A lot of energy exchange happening. So it's good to see everyone on one screen. When it comes to, honestly, engagement, I feel that when I initially started, so of course, everyone was hit with the pandemic and everyone has these stories of how they evolved. So mine was initially launching my own, a business line of talk show, which I'd launched called 19 Influencers Talk on COVID-19. So I got all the CEOs of various companies talk on the platform. What I felt when I started hosting the shows was that engagement is necessary. And how that can be done initially, first is your own presence of mind and your own energy. I personally feel it's a lot about visualization as well, because the way you pronounce, the way you showcase yourself on the screen, it's all about the presence you bring to the screen, the pitch of your tone, all of that, the tonality of your voice, which we never thought was, of course, it's important that someone has a good tone in their voice and the pitch, but that was something which was always done in the back end. But here it's all upon us, because we are managing ourselves, the light, sound, and all of that. That's one thing. And apart from that, when it comes to engaging, of course, I brainstormed with a lot of my, event teams on, a lot of platform features, Aditya. So a lot of polls were crafted, a lot of, chat options were crafted, a lot of quiz like Sony Live, and on one of my clients, we did a trivia for the audience. So, there was a trivia which was created. There were polls which were happening, how to put the sponsor, how do we engage the people, who are just watching us on the screen and take them to the sponsor booth? How do we get that happen? Do we announce that we're going to send so-and-so? In fact, there were vouchers also sent to certain clients, so a lot of Aditya engagements are happening. And as an MC, what max we can do is, of course, sit with the event team beforehand, which is, of course, on a platform, and discuss of how important these engagements are. Because when we're just put on the screen, we cannot expect everything. So we have to pre-plan a lot. And I think that's an initiative which an MC, if they would like to differentiate themselves, is to just differentiate, sit with the team, whoever is organizing, take extra, work in terms of, let's talk about how do we engage. create those polls, tell that you need a trivia, rather than just relying on, one technical goof up and the MCs engaging. Because everything needs a technical backup here, Aditya. It's not about being on the live and I can just talk, because a lot of them are critical events which happen. So a little bit of pre-planning has been happening, Aditya, in that case. So that's been my experience over, all the virtual events I've done. Touchwood been going good in that space. So I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, Touchwood for all of them. And yeah, I'll leave it to Ravin to take it forth with his.
Because I have lots of questions to ask, and I'm also looking at the clock continuously. If within 1 minute all of you could summarize your engagement procedure or process of Sanchali, and then we can move ahead with others as well.
Okay, so in terms of engagement, what I've realized is it's same as initially it was. I went back to the basics of doing the simplest of things when we initially started, and I saw that working, right? Because what we wanted, we didn't know what kind of reaction we are getting. But I'll say I had a little bit of background in RJing, and I realized, at that time also we used to engage our audience without really seeing them. It's all about just believe in yourself, you're getting that energy, and constantly try to get your audience to answer back, engage, small things, because that will keep the momentum going. Otherwise, an audience on a digital platform, they might not even be watching us. Even like 6 of us, I'm sure we are doing other stuff while we are talking to each other, right? The attention span is very limited. So you have to make sure, even if that goes, you have to get it back and make sure if your energy is high, just believe your audience is engaged with you and keep that going. Don't let it make you, don't let this fact that you don't have a live audience in front of you sink you down, because otherwise the show will go down. Think of it, television, there are so many anchors, there are so many shows happening, movies happening, people are watching and they are engaged. You are an anchor. You have done this all your life. You have to bring it to that table, and people will watch, people do engage. Yes, you can't get 100% attention. It's sad. We can't be in touch with them. We can't get that feeler. I used to never, like initially when I used to go on stage, I was like, hey, okay, so what interaction are you going to do? I'll decide basis my first interaction, what kind of response I'm getting. Then I'll give you the rest of the interactions in the order. This is not the case anymore. So you just have to believe and go by it. And if you bring the energy, the audience will follow.
Right.
I think I want to move ahead also now. Geetika ma'am, I think in the middle you went because I think of some network issues. So I actually have to ask you this, and I think you specifically now, that what are the challenges that you've actually faced while doing virtual shows? I saw one happening right now.
One is internet.
No. I kind of switched myself off for a while because I have a new pet at home who began to chew at the charger. So that was what happened. So I'll kind of also address what Sanchali said about. So see, this evolution is something that is unavoidable. It happens in every business, and it's happened in ours. And I think we were pretty fast to adapt to it. Life was across the country. We haven't really cried about it too much. We've begun to adapt to it pretty fast. This change is here to stay. Virtual events are here to stay. Hybrid events are here to stay. And live, of course, will resume once I think the larger population has been jabbed twice. Having said that, you asked me what is my engagement procedure. So from the first show that I did, which was the virtual, I think I did the first virtual event in the country as a live host. I was the first one to go on and do the first ever virtual thing. So it was never really a concern in my head, because even on live stage as an anchor, I've always been a performer. I've always been an actor. So I have my own energy. And that energy can cut across a live screen, it can cut across a live stage, it can cut across a television camera. I'm okay with that because I'm a performer, right? It's end of the day, it's only exchange of energy. And human energy can cut through real physical space, and it can cut through, a digital screen or a television screen. So for me, it was never a concern. It was always about performing in X manner for live, performing in X manner for virtual, performing X manner for hybrid. That's all. You just had to tweak your performance a little bit. What I did realize is that in virtual, my energy had to be even more genuine. Hold my audiences in their seats, or to draw them back if they went to smoke or they went to the toilet or they just went away, leaving the computers on. I had to have a very genuine energy that went out. from the screen, especially in my voice more than the way I looked. That I realized very soon on. And secondly, my content had to be extremely precise. It had to stand out, but it also had to be extremely brief. So it couldn't be long, drawn out like I would do on live stage, which I love to do, which a lot of people tell me that, I cut. So that is something I did very early. I cut content down, I made it very precise. And thirdly, your tech. The tech piece in your home has to be upgraded to absolutely 150% professional levels, which is why I feel that I really don't want to do virtual events out of my home anymore. Which is why probably I will now rent out another space and create this one little room where I can go in and do my virtual events from, because this is not how we want to work. And if agencies are in and listening, please stop these virtual events happening from MCs' homes, because it's so tacky, it's so unprofessional, it's so, swing by night kind of operation. And if you're making us do it from our homes, give us an executive sitting next to us to do backstage. There is a backstage, right? So while I'm on screen, I'm looking at the WhatsApp, I'm looking at this, I'm looking at that. As an artist, my eyes are going off the screen. I'm not performing. I'm also coordinating. I'm also doing content. I'm also putting on the computer, the ring light, the Wi-Fi. This is not my job, and it interferes in my creative process. So this really is something that the clients need to think about. I think the tech piece has to be superb if you want to do in the virtual and hybrid space as a host. Otherwise, I don't think it's something that's here to stay. All of us will have to tweak our performance according to the platform that we're working on. And virtual has its pros also. It's you can do 3 shows in a day. My God, earlier I would be able to fly and do a show in Chennai, come back to a show in Bangalore, come back and do a show in Delhi. Here I'm doing a show, I'm getting an award, I'm doing a panel. It's fantastic for me. 24 hours in a day have transformed into probably 24/3. So I think it's a fantastic thing that's happened. But how we use the tech piece of this is really going to be very critical for a lot of hosts out there. I would yet again say, don't go around making your homes your workspaces. Let's all talk to our other stakeholders, which are other agency heads, and tell them, guys, it costs about $15,000 to take an MC to a professional studio and do this really well. Or if you insist on us having, being there at home, then you have to have a tech person or you have to have something backstage. This is not the way this is not a long-term model what's happening right now. That's what I'd like to say. Also, before you wrap up, I'd like to, Aditya, just very clearly define here. You spoke about social media and MC. So I'd like to clearly define that even that is here to stay. But I'll do that after others are speaking.
Okay, so with 9 minutes left, I have 2 more questions to go for everybody. I've realized that Bhavna, in front of your name, there's curator written. Khyati has moderator. Geetika ma'am has, of course, the entire A to Z because she's done so much. Sangeeta also, Sanchali. So, with this shift to the virtual world, I've seen that Sanchali, you made your own show now. Sanchali is a misfit. You spoke to people regarding sports and fitness. Khyati, you had 3 series conversation where you were helping people, I think, give them public speaking tips, and then you had sustainability also in one of them, and then a fun one, cooking with your sister.
Yeah.
I think you were shooting a film you just shot with Amir Khan, and also I think you also got a course coming out now. I think that's already rolled out.
Initially, the time when everything started, we all knew it was all about just creating something of our own or just bringing something more to the table, because MCing का तो कुछ पता ही नहीं था, क्या MCing छोड़ो, event industry का ही कुछ पता नहीं था. Thankfully, these in pockets, this hope is coming in. So something which I will say a lot of us have already done is like probably it wouldn't have happened if this pandemic would not have happened. For me also, the show which I started, Sanchali is a Misfit, was out of my passion for fitness and sports. And of course, I used my skills, which were my MCing skills, right? I had a lot of time before also in hand, but I never thought of utilizing it in such a fruitful way. Now, when this thing happened, I think it was a time when we realized, it's a time to being your own boss in one step ahead. We already are our own bosses as MCs or as in different arenas or whatever we are doing in content creation. But this was your time when you can generate money through different sources as well, where you can get sponsors for your own show. When I started the show, there was no thought of having a sponsor or anything. It was just about getting certain information or certain fun information across, getting people engaged in something which I love. Over time, I realized people started approaching me. Can you put a name or a banner? I said, this is a good time to make money. Why not? You pay me something, because if you're not paying me, I have no interest in putting your name across. Straightforward. So even though I didn't generate a lot of money, I could have probably if I carried the show a little further up. But I did. I got 2 good sponsors who sponsored all my gifts. They paid me. Some of the biggest, there were people also. There were the athletes who were there were very famous name. One very famous one was Wayne Bravo, right? Mohammed Khair. There were various Olympians. So the thing is, I did have, but it's just not about the names. This was a time when you could decide on doing something more or putting your eggs in a number of baskets and trying to generate income. Something which I've never talked about or not many people know. I also kind of became an entrepreneur in the sense that I started exporting certain cork products in association, which I've done 2 deals. I've never been very open about it. Even a lot of my friends don't know, but that is something which I did. And I learned all about export. I got all the papers filed in, and I didn't know. The process is pretty simple, but I would never think of going into export or anything of that sort. But it was just those ideas that kept coming in. And thankfully, I banked on it at that very moment as well. So I believe this is a time where as MCs, you can go really global, do whatever you want to do, and use social media right now. I don't know about following, but use social media to do whatever and get that money and that engagement, which probably was in a normal circumstance, in normal scenario, going through X number of sources, वही काम आप कर रहे थे जिसके लिए आपको सिर्फ MCing के पैसे मिलते थे. For that same work, now you can get much more money. You can get sponsors. Geetika started her own. Here, the plugin comes and is genuinely here. She started like her own course, right? This is what she has been doing for years. And who would have been a better person than her, to bring that forward? And it's on a good platform, and she designed the whole thing. I mean, look at the money. The money will flow, right? The money will keep, but this is an added income which you are creating. And it's all based on what? Our own skills, which we already had. So that's what I believe.
So yeah, I did start with the corporate series, so I was always very fascinated with business talks. I actually rejected a job at Google to get into MCing back in 2009 almost. So definitely that was in my head. So I had a good association with a great tech company, in fact, which is one of the partners, fortunately, in this forum as well. And the thing is to go about curating more content in future for sure. And I think that's really fascinating me, that a lot can be done. And I know the time is really short, so I'm going to keep it very precise. I'm going to let you, take on that. But I think it's all about just being, true to what you would like to do. And as Sanchali rightly said, I totally second her that the way of generation of our income is not just from our MCing bit, but it is also through influencing if we use the social media platform well, and also through curation. Now we can curate our own shows and get sponsors in. If things go well, you never know, there could be a lot more scope coming in.
Of course, there is, diverse avenues of where you can generate business, etc. But what I also kind of realized during the lockdown is there were so many facets to my own personality, to my own self, that I got to discover and indulge in as well. And that is where content curation came up, where I was like, I love to talk. That is one thing. But I want to learn about sustainability. What can I do about that? So I started a show which was article, which was, just getting to know, learn myself and kind of create awareness. Another thing was, who are the people that I kind of associate with on a day-to-day basis? My family, my friends, what are they doing? My sister is a baker. So I was like, why not speak to her? She's all the time telling me to start cooking or baking, or telling me eat healthier. I was like, this is something that I would like to indulge in now. This is the time when I can do all of these things, apart from doing the professional work that we constantly hustle on and constantly worry about. This was the time to explore creatively as well. I started doing art, and you won't believe, it is again power of social media. Although I do not indulge in it way too much, but it is there to stay, and we need to. But again, I would like to say that instead of becoming somebody else on social media, why not explore and show what you are? So I think that's the way to go forward. And yeah, I mean, what Bhavna and Sanchali both said, if you start looking at tech and your team as a complete holistic approach, in a way that you start managing your own thing as well. Like now I tell them that, oh, I used StreamYard during my show. So it's like, oh, this is a good idea. Why not we try this platform now? I was like, yeah, I am aware of the back end as well, so I can let you in on that. So it's an add-on. If you know tech, if you know certain other things around the tech, bring it to the table. It's a great add-on in this time.
Lovely. I don't know what was that. Geetika ma'am, I think you wanted the last minute. Also, I'm sorry. I just have to ask something. 5 seconds, everybody. We've only got 20 seconds, and then Geetika ma'am can wrap it up with what you wanted to say. I just want to know what your future vision is. What's your technique going to be and the process as an anchor in this virtual space? Just 10 to 15 seconds, very quickly. Raven, Sangeeta.
Well, for me, I'll still want to keep up to the pace of the virtual and the social, the kind of strengths that we come. And while we were all talking about, how, we really do not have our corporate clients here on these platforms, but with this entire experience industry now actually getting into more hybrid and everybody out there is virtual, at least our industry. The agency side, which I think, or the artist side, which completely got missed out on. I think they've connected with me, and I have connected with them much more deeper, much more than I ever thought, because there's limited set of people that I was working with today. There's a great association. Also, the kind of the sense of community that I got to know while this entire pandemic happened. I mean, I knew Geetika as a veteran, or probably I knew Khyati, somebody who's just out there. And, I didn't know Sanchali at all. I just knew there was somebody, Sanchali, out there, or Aditya for a matter of fact. Today, I know my community far more better. And the kind of, I know that, of course, and the immense possibilities that have been exposed to me. I know what Sanchali is doing, or how Geetika is taking it all forward, how Khyati is riding the curve. So it also helps me to expand my own horizon and also make me aware about the immense possibilities that lie ahead of me. So I will, yes, of course, going to keep feeding onto it, keep absorbing as much as I can, and keep adapting to it. And I'm going to be there onto the virtual world, because yes, there's a lot of power. We have the entire industry out there. So guys, yes, we may not have our corporate clients, but we have our agencies, we have our artists, we have everybody out there, and there's a lot of power that resides in it.
Fair enough. Bhavna, 10 seconds last. I've been told.
I'll keep it 10 seconds. Don't worry. The vision is to continue working, to continue exploring, to continue understanding where the future lies, and of course, riding with a wave with more confidence. Myself, as well as the peers who've supported me.
Thank you so much. I just want to ask a question, because I've left the least here in the panel. So I know Mr. Nitish Mitra Sen has joined, and he has to go at 7:30. We welcome him, and he'll be live with us. He's built a large gaming company. He's taken it public, and he's really pioneering in that domain. And in some way, event tech platforms and the virtual online events industry is at a nascent stage, like gaming was 5 years. So his inputs would be valuable on scaling up technology and so on and so forth. But I want to ask quickly a 10-second question. I want to start with the most accomplished person, and I have no problem. All of you are accomplished. But I want to start with Ms. Geetika Ganjudhar. What do you miss about physical events? One thing that you miss about physical events most?
I miss grand, big stages, and I miss feeling like Michael Jackson on that stage and spreading my arms and doing my dance and all of that. I miss that. I miss the format. I miss the largeness of the live format. I miss that.
Okay. And Aditya, what do you miss?
I think the energy, sir. The energy of speaking to those thousands whom you can actually see.
I think I miss how my voice sounds on that microphone. When after a long time I went on stage and held that microphone and heard myself back again, I think I miss that the most. That
Sanchali?
It creates, yeah.
For everything.
Walking on the stage and, seeing them, watching them, hearing them, and of course, that's what we're talking about, energy. Engagement, which you could do, the icebreakers, which, one would do when they enter the stage or interact. That's something I really miss.
I miss the response the most, on every joke that probably I cracked out there, or every emotion that I cracked out there. And, I really miss seeing those expressions, because that is what gave me that energy back to me and I could perform. So that is what I miss. I miss all those expressions the most.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and we'll get Mr. Nitish Mitra Sen started because he leaves sharp at 7:30, and we do want to get the best of him. Thank you. All the best. I think event tech platforms have to incorporate these experiences. If they can mirror them in some way online for every stakeholder, I think they'll be very, very successful. And a lot of event tech platforms are trying to do that. So thank you so much for your real life input. And we have a small research.
Dr. There's something very, very important that I have to say here. First of all, thank you to you and your platform for keeping the feeling of the industry alive over the last 12 months. You've consistently put out so many events. Thank you very much, Dr. Batra. I quickly, Dr. Batra, want to sort of share with the world watching out there that coincidentally this panel has a few people, namely Sangeeta Singh, Sanchali Arora, Aditya, and we also had Gunjan Utreja, who was supposed to join us. I think he's busy in a shoot. Now, these four, Dr. Batra, I must tell you, during the COVID times, we were on a WhatsApp group together, and four of them and many others on that group, other MCs on that group, put in their blood, sweat, toil, and almost 24 hours a day for literally 15 days, trying to get relief for COVID patients and their families across the country. I am fully aware of the entire bandwidth of work that happened from the event industry during the second wave of the COVID. And Dr. Batra, I must say that all four of them and a few others on the group, I'll again say Sanchali, Sangeeta, Gunjan and Aditya, have given their entire lives for
Fantastic. My kudos to you and respect. And I can say my mother was not well, and Ima tried to help. I can't take many names, but I'll take Ruchin's name. So I saw the good work. I'm sure you did, but I experienced it firsthand. And I remember for 2-3 days I may have called between me and my wife. We called him about 25 times, and he was responsive at 12 o'clock in the night. And luckily, my mother is healthy and hale, and she's doing well. But kudos to you, all of you who contributed to saving lives and put in your best to do that. At the end of the purpose of life is a life of purpose, and clearly you live it. So thank you so much for that. Kudos to you. And Ravin, let's get Mr. Nitish Mitra Sen in. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Round
much.
of applause.
Thank you,
Thank you, everyone.